So, feeling inadequate, that's something I've dealt with for quite a while now. And, you know, I I don't know why I'm making a video out of this, honestly. I think it's kind of just like desperation, but I just need to throw something out there. So, this is what I'm doing. Talking about how I feel inadequate, I guess. Now, let me kind of rephrase that a bit. I don't mean like, you know, I feel like, appearance wise or anything like that, or like school wise. No, like, I'm fine with that kind of stuff, like, it's not like I'm like morbidly depressed or anything like that. It's not like some kind of stuff like that. It's just, you know, I just feel like I'm not good at anything. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm good at stuff. Like, don't be wrong. There are things I'm good at. Like, for example, I know it's kind of a pitiful one, but for example, video games. I would say I'm pretty good at video games. I've been playing them ever since I was a little kid. You know, uh, and I can find my way around any game. I can pick anything up real easy. I can get into it, but that's not what I mean. Like, sure, I'm good at the game, but I'm not great. Like, I'm not a professional at it, I guess. I'm not saying like specifically I want to be like some esports pro that gets millions and millions of dollars for like playing CS:GO or Siege or something. But I just feel like everybody has something they're good at, like, something they're talented at. But, I just feel like I don't have that. Like, truly, I don't. And I'm just kind of at my wit's end here because I don't know what to do exactly. I mean, for example, I've had a guitar for a couple years now, and you'd probably think, okay, well, you're no like Metallica, you're not shredding like crazy, but surely some stuff. But I don't even feel like I'm decent at guitar, to be honest. Like, and I've tried, like, don't be wrong, I haven't like gone to classes or anything like that. I don't have the money or transportation to do that. But I just, like, I've tried even before making this video. It's kind of my inspiration, I guess, for starting to record what I'm saying. I tried, I gave it a real fair shot. I tried like picking up my guitar and playing something, but I just feel like I just can't wrap my head around it. And before I tried the guitar, I tried drawing. And again, like, these are things that I've always wanted to do. It's not like I have no inspiration for it. I have no will to do it. These are things that I've always wanted to do ever since I was little. I mean, the guitar one, that was picked up more like in my middle childhood, I guess. I don't know, like as soon as I became a teenager. But ever since I was little, I always like thought drawing was cool. I wanted to be really good at it. But I don't know. I can't bring myself to do it. And I know it's tough. I know it's not going to be easy to do these things. These things take lots and lots of skill. Anybody that can draw good or play guitar good, like, there's somebody to be admired. There's somebody to look up to. They're very cool and amazing and whatnot. But I want to be like that. I have the drive to do it. It's just I don't feel like I'm good enough. I feel inadequate. And I am inadequate. Like, I'm not good at drawing. I'm not good at playing guitar. And obviously, these things take practice. They take lots and lots of time and lots of skill. But I guess I'm just frustrated. Like, I'm the type of person, and I know it's a bad flaw, but I'm the type of person where I don't see results quick. I feel like, what's the point? Like, where am I going? Am I going to get anywhere with this? And it's a really bad flaw, but, at least I acknowledge it, at least. But, I don't really know what to do because, like, I'd love to get amazing at drawing and like guitar and these kind of things, but I just can't find the motivation for it. I just feel like a bumbling buffoon. whenever I try. Like, I feel like I'll never be, even if I get decent at it, I'll never be good or, well, great, I guess. And, like, you know, I've had this channel around for quite a bit now, like maybe like a month and a half, but I've neglected to actually post anything because I feel inadequate, I guess you could say. Like, I feel like nothing I make will be good enough. Nothing I can possibly produce will be interesting to people. It will reach out to people. Like, I've gone through so many ideas, and there have been so many days where I just kind of sit at my computer for like maybe an hour at the most, and I just kind of stare at what I could possibly make a video about. And each time I feel like I could get an idea, I either realize that A, nobody will, care about it. It's like, sure, I could upload a video about how I'm 100%ing Plants vs. Zombies, but there are definitely way better videos out there that have already done that. And sure, I could make a very long documentary type thing about this other game that I really, really like, but, and, not that many people have done it, but I just know in the back of my mind, like, I'm not gonna finish it. I'm not gonna commit to it. And I just, I'm confused, honestly. Like, genuinely, I don't know what to do exactly. I mean, and I don't want to make it seem out as like I'm some bum that can't commit to anything. That's not true. I definitely have grown a lot especially since just last summer. Since last summer, I've grown exponentially. The growth has been absolutely insane. But I guess you could say I kind of hit a plateau in a sense. I just feel like there's nowhere for me to go exactly. Like, I'm never going to be the best at something. I'm never going to be a pro at something. Like, I picked up weightlifting last summer, and I kept doing it for a while, and I was making pretty good results, but eventually you just hit that plateau where it's really tough to get out of. And then after that, I just kind of, whether it be one thing or the other, I just kind of fell out of it, whether it be just lack of motivation or, uncontrollable circumstance like getting sick or, just having something come up. And I just, I'd love to be like I know in my head, like, I don't desire to be like, 2% body fat or anything like that. Like, honestly, that just seems unhealthy. But, I want to get, decent looking, like a little buff, but I don't know. I just like feel like I'm never going to get there. And when I think about how far the goal is, I feel like throwing up, I guess. Like, I feel so inadequate with myself. I feel so hopeless that I just feel like throwing up and curling up into a ball. And, obviously that's normal. Like, I feel like everybody has had that kind of experience. But it's just, I don't know, it seems like no matter where I pivot to, I always hit this wall. Whether it be with games, or working out, or trying guitar, or trying drawing, it just feels like I always hit this wall of inadequacy. And, I was just thinking, like, what do I want to do with my life, I mean, I have a plan, don't be wrong, like, I do want to go to college, and I have an idea of what I want to major in, that kind of thing, but I want to create, like, I'm perfectly fine with working like an actual job, but on the side, I'd like to create stuff, but it's just like, I, I don't know, I feel like in terms of like, yeah, like creation, like arts, literature, that kind of thing, like, I just feel like I have nothing to show. Again, kind of like how I said, it took me so long to even, like, start the production of a video on this channel, even despite wanting to. It's just, what do I have to offer exactly that somebody else couldn't? And it just blows, honestly, it really does. And I'm a big reader. I'd say, well, not like a huge reader. I'm not saying like, oh, I complete like, 3 to 4 novels each month or anything like that. But when I'm in the mood, like I sit down and I read a lot. Like it's the type of thing where it kind of just hits you every once in a while, like maybe every couple of weeks. I'm just really in the mood to read, and I'll sit down and just binge read something, whether it be some, stupid like manga I found off of a subreddit, like from a funny screenshot, or whether it be, like some like life-changing novel that's really deep, or whether it be a visual novel that I found on Steam. But I do quite enjoy reading. And, I've thought about, like creating my own literature, I guess, like, producing something, like whether it be a short story or something. But I don't know, like, I feel like this is a given. Like, I've heard this trope happen in literature and even like drawing, where you think something's really, really good, and then you look at it like an hour to a day later, and then you absolutely despise it. That's how I feel with everything I create. Like, I just feel like, oh, this is really good. I'm getting somewhere. But then, once the dust settles, I just kind of feel like it's trash. It's imperfect. It's inadequate. That's how I feel. Um, and obviously, I know so much that I'm not gonna get it right my first try. It's not gonna be perfect my first try. Um, but it's just so weird to me. Like my mind knows, my body knows, but my heart just refuses. It absolutely refuses to, like just stick it through. And I don't want to seem like I'm the type of person to like run away from everything. I'm I'd like to think that I'm not. There have been times where I really don't want to do something, but I still stick it through. For example, um during like winter time, I participated in my first school sport, and I did swim. I never really cared for any other sports, especially physical ones like football or whatever, but I did swim. And there were so many times where I really, really wanted to quit. I even got pneumonia like halfway through the season, but I did end up sticking it out. And I honestly got to thank my English teacher, great guy. I talked to him, and he really convinced me the days where I really didn't want to stick it out. But so I definitely have overcome things, but even at that, even though I overcame that, at the end of the season, I still felt really inadequate. Like I felt kind of depressed, and people that have done sports are probably looking at me like I'm silly. Like, yeah, I mean, of course, you're not going to be the top of the team your first go, especially if it's your first sport. Um, and you never done it before. But I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like an imposter, I guess. I get really bad imposter syndrome about things, even though I know I belong somewhere. I've showed up to as many practices as I can. I've showed up to as many meets as I can. I just feel like an imposter by the end of it. I feel like I do not belong in any way, and it's just a really odd feeling. Like I felt the same way recently. I had an award ceremony at school, and people were getting awarded for things like honor roll and like just a bunch of crap. Um, Now this honestly should have been a really big moment for me because I haven't gotten honor roll or any like kind of award like that since elementary, like third grade, I think. Because I don't know, I feel like near the end of elementary to the start of middle school, you kind of like as a child, like you kind of open your eyes and you realize, wait, school's kind of bullshit. But then, eventually you rebound back around high school and like lock back in, I guess. But I should have been very proud of myself because the complete 180 I took this year compared to last year, it was absolutely drastic. I mean, uh, last year I barely passed. I mean, how one of my classes I didn't pass at all. I had to make up over the summer. But then this year, I did good enough to make it to honor roll, all 90s, above 90s, all year. And, you know, I should have been very proud about that. But I don't know, that whole ceremony, I just kind of felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I was a fraud, a fake, Like, sure, I did this, but there are all these people that are actually achieving things, all these people that are getting these scholarships, all these people that are getting this and that and being noticed. There were some people that got like 6, 7 awards, and I just, I just felt so inadequate. I felt like, I felt like I was infiltrating some meeting that I was never supposed to see. And it was weird. I know I should have been proud of myself. I know. I really did know. But I just couldn't, Don't get me wrong. I had like the initial, little adrenaline when they called me on stage and they're like, oh, here's your award. Then after that, I just kind of sat there for the rest of the ceremony, which was about another like 35 minutes. And the whole time I just felt like, man, I hope this ends soon. This is just kind of making me depressed. But yeah, no. I I don't know. I'm just kind of venting my frustrations here, I guess. I'm not really expecting any answers, especially from a brand new YouTube channel that doesn't have any subscribers, any views, anything like that. I'm not expecting any traction or any answers, but I think it's just good to get my thoughts out like this, and hey, at least I produced something. I really want to be a creative, I guess. I don't know, it's weird. Like, I always have thought about it. Ever since I was younger, I was always like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber and I want to do this and that. But I think the I think the reason I'm not, it's been so hard for me, is because I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. Like, I I don't get me wrong, I have ambition, I have goals, but I also am a very, like, scientifical person, a very statistical person. Like, I know the chances of me making it big through something in the creative like scene is very, very low. Or the chance of me even making something that I can be proud of, I feel like, is kind of low. Um, and I think that's what holds me back. Like, just thinking about it like that. And I don't know. I spend a lot of my days, because I live quite far from a lot of my friends. So I spend a lot of my days just kind of chilling in my house by myself, which, isn't the best. Um, and I do like going on walks, that kind of thing, but the area I live, it's just not very nice for walking. It's a very busy street. I live near a lot of cars. Just to get anywhere interesting, it would be like a 2-hour walk. Um, but how did I get so sidetracked? Anyways, I just feel inadequate, and I want to create something. I want to make it big, I guess. And I don't even mean make it big in like the sense I want people to recognize me or like give me money or anything like that. I want to make it big to myself. I want to be proud of something that I've done. But it's very difficult. I don't know where it stems from or why, besides the fact that I'm a very, like, thinking kind of person. Like, instead of taking action, I think a lot, and that was honestly what held me back for so long, and I'm finally trying to change that a bit. But besides that, I just don't, I can't understand what's holding me back so much mentally. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I could keep rambling on, but I don't want to repeat myself and just say something slightly different. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope if anybody watches this that you can, I mean, I don't hope you can relate, but if you're already in the same scenario I am, I hope you find comfort in this. But yeah, there we go. First video, and maybe if we're lucky, it'll start a kind of snowball effect and make me create more. But yeah.